How are we doing, everybody? This is Joey of the Underage Packers podcast, and joining me for this mid-season recap, mid because the Packers, well, mid is being polite, but it's also pretty much the end for this Packers season. But Big B, how excited are you to be here today?
I'm very excited. Excited to talk a little bit about the Green Bay Packers suffering another heartbreaking loss, but always fun talking Packers football.
Of course. So last night, obviously, they took a 40-33 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I just got to say, we got to take every moral victory we can, right? Like, this can't be a good attitude for the team, but for us as fans, at least, can we just at least applaud the fact that the Packers, who have looked abysmal on offense all season, scored 33 points on one of the best defenses in the league? Round of applause for the Green Bay Packers there. Come on, folks. Now, that is mainly because the defense was absolutely atrocious and the offense was able to get on the field so many times. The defense said, hey, offense, we see what you guys are doing, getting off the field very quickly. We're going to do that. The defense was told, okay, we're told to get off the field quickly. There's a loophole to this that we don't have to even try. So they did that, okay? And Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders ran all over them. In fact, the Eagles had a total of 363 rushing yards, and Jalen Hurts was at 98 yards with only 5 minutes gone, not even in the first quarter. So that is the state of this Green Bay Packers defense. It is just such a great team to watch here. Now on offense, the real playmakers were A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. Another great game for them. Aaron had 43 yards rushing. A.J. Dillon had 64 yards on 8 carries. I mean, A.J. Dillon, he was almost glitching on some carries where you thought he was going to be tackled, and then he somehow flips over a dude and gains another 6 yards after initial contact. So great game from A.J. Dillon, kind of a bounce back game, if you will. Not that he's trying to get on the right path for this final stretch of the season, but a lot of fans have been down on him these past few weeks, so he's getting back on track. Other things for the offense, another phenomenal game for Christian Watson. 4 receptions, 110 yards, including the 63-yard touchdown from Jordan Love. It's kind of interesting to look at this target distribution here. Watson had 4 receptions with 6 targets. Aaron Jones, 3 receptions on 4 targets. Allen Lazard, interestingly, 3 targets, 2 receptions. Robert Tonyan, Randall Cobb, getting 3 and 4 respectively on Aaron Rodgers' 16 attempts. So they didn't try to do what they did last week against the Titans by throwing the ball all over the yard, which, is mainly based off the opponent because the Titans' rush defense is really, really good, which is the opposite case for the Eagles. But hey, Big B, what are your thoughts on this offensive performance from the Green Bay Packers?
I was going into this game thinking we were only going to score 17 points. So the fact that we scored 30-plus points on the Philadelphia Eagles and actually kept the game close for the majority of the game, hey, I call that a mini W. That is all I wanted in this game, was to score a lot, keep it close, and hopefully pull up an upset. Couldn't get the upset, but the offense coming alive, and I'm excited to watch it here.
Yeah, like I said on Twitter this morning, for a 4-8 team, the situation the Packers are in, virtually eliminated from the playoffs, but not mathematically. They have, a 2% chance at making it now. But, pretty much everything you could hope for at this point in the season. They kept it interesting against what's hopefully and probably going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. And they fought back. They showed some heart, on that, with the only time they stopped Jalen Hurts on that quarterback sneak at a crucial point in the game. Fought back, obviously, to end up being enough. But, hey, gotta take what you can. As far as the defense goes, this is the real, the concerning part of this game, not only for this season, which is already a crapshoot, but for the future too. Look, I know. I have spent most of this video really praising how good the Philadelphia Eagles are as a team. But allowing 500 yards is unacceptable. And as has been talked about all season, and really in Mike Pettin's stint too. So for the past 3 or 4 years, this defense has way too much talent on it to be this pitiful. Like, it has been just awful this season. Well, I mean, and it's not even like, oh, well, compared to our very high expectations, they fell a little short of that. No, it's just so bad. And they've had their games, they've had their moments, and the offense wasn't able to play off of that, unfortunately. But they could not stop a nosebleed. I mean, somebody needs to create a new phrase because, like, stopping a nosebleed is like would be a miracle for how this defense performed last night. Like, it is even more dramatic than that. And Matt LaFleur has been persistent all season in saying that there no change needs to be made at defense play caller, and if there was, he would have no hesitancy in making that change. And he virtually said that he doesn't think the defense coordinator is a problem. And then, somebody on Twitter said, okay, somebody needs to follow up to Matt saying that the defense coordinator is not the problem and ask him, okay, who is it? Force Matt to either blame it on Joe Barry, who is his hand-selected guy, or his players. Like, who is it, Matt? It's somebody. Okay? And it's hard to watch. I honestly would not be surprised either way if Joe Barry stays or goes. Mike Pettin stayed a year longer than we expected him to. And as Ryan Wood said on our podcast when we had him on last week, that Mike Pettin was a arranged marriage with Matt LaFleur, and he kept him a year longer than he probably should have, even though his last year with the team was Mike Pettin's best group with the Packers statistically. Like, I don't know, man. I would not be surprised, like I said, either way, if Joe Barry ends up staying or leaving for this Packers team. Big B, now this is the part where we bring in the emotion, where I ask Big B, how do you feel about that performance from the Packers defense?
Man, I don't even know where the hell to begin because it was so god awful that it almost was a guaranteed Philadelphia score every time they got the ball.
Yeah.
Rasul Douglas getting absolute bitched on the entire game, which is so unfortunate to see because he's my boy. Jair actually, once again, is like the only player who actually looks like he wants to be out there and performing up to his high level, even though some people say that he's not really up to his contract standards. He had that one play, but other than that, he has been fine, especially that yesterday. Joe Barry needs to be gone. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's get someone like Rich Bisaccia in there, like Mike Zimmer. Like Mike Zimmer won't allow anything. It won't happen, but we gotta do something like that. But I highly doubt Joe Barry will get fired after this year because Matt LaFleur hates us.
Okay, but here's my problem with I love this idea of bringing a fiery Rich Bisaccia type, but that's exactly what we thought we were getting in Joe Barry. I remember when there was clips from when the Rams were Hard Knocks when we hired Barry, and people were finding all these clips and like, oh, here we go. Here's this aggressive guy we were waiting for. And yeah, Joe Barry just has not delivered. I don't know what to say. So just not delivering on promises. And hey, I know a lot of people want Jim Leonard, but as Aaron Nagler has constantly brought up, he runs the same system as Mike Pettin. He thrived in Mike Pettin's system as a player. And honestly, I've been scarred by seeing so many coaches try to jump from the NCAA to NFL. And even though it's not, a head coach in the NCAA to head coach in professionals, if we had Leonard as our defense coordinator, I don't know about that. Let's stay away from that. So, hey, I don't know who's out there. I would not be mad if they brought in a notable guy like Brian Flores or Mike Zimmer. But also, I know that's the only two people that folks are going to be calling for, and they're going to be irate. No matter if they hire anybody outside of those guys, shall we say? So I don't know, man. Frustrating situation. You look back at the other coordinators Packers interviewed after they fired Pettin following the 2020 season. Gio Evero, who's now doing pretty good with Denver Broncos, and a few others that I can't think of right now. But just hey, Joe Barry, he is who we thought he was. Um, so there's that. Now, kind of a wrap up on the season, really, and we'll talk about Jordan Love's drives in a little bit here, but this season is, like I said earlier, over for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers will keep on claiming that it's still alive and he still wants to play, which, hey, good for him. Keep on toughing him out. But now it's time to look forward to April, I guess. And I tweeted out yesterday, I cannot imagine rooting for the Packers to have a higher draft pick. And even though I just said that we're living for April now, like, there's no doubt that these last 5 weeks of the season, I will be rooting for the Packers to win because, as Herm Edwards says, you play to win the game. All right? I'm going to be rooting for them to win. I do not care about the draft status until March when we don't have to scroll down too far to see our name in mock drafts. But hey, let's just win these games. I don't care. All right. And a big determining factor in that will be who the quarterback is. Aaron Rodgers has said that he plans to play in Chicago next week if his tests on his ribs come back clean. And then once they are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, which very well could happen next week, I'm guessing with a Washington Commanders and a Giants win, probably. I'm guessing that's what is needed to happen. Then Aaron Rodgers is willing to step back. But for the Packers, I just think they have every reason to play Jordan Love from here on out. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is dealing with 2 injuries. You don't know what you have in Jordan Love. You have to make a decision on his 5th-year option after this year. And the situation with Aaron is already really difficult. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, what if this is his last game? I would be shocked if this is Aaron Rodgers' last season with the Packers. Unless he retires, but he's shown that he's going to tough it out, and he still seems like he wants to play forever and ever. I don't see that happening. And I think the Packers front office will kind of be in denial this offseason and want to hold on and say, oh, it was the thumb and oblique injuries that messed him up this year, kind of like they did with Mike McCarthy and held on to him for too long. In 2016, it was they got saved by the run the table. 2017, Rodgers was hurt. So, what was he going to do with Brett Hundley? And then it finally took just the off season with Aaron Rodgers completely healthy, besides the knee injury. They're like, all right, we gotta move on. So, hey, but Ken Engels on Twitter has brought us the numbers many times. The dead cap numbers for Rodgers, no matter what you do with him, if you keep him, trade him, if he retires, if you cut him, it's going to be a buttload of money. It's going to be even more money if they just straight up cut up or trade him. So, I don't know. Big B, any thoughts on Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback controversy we have here near the end of the season?
Quarterback controversy. Haven't had one of these in a while. But yeah, like Aaron Rodgers is pretty much getting paid $50 million next year to play football. I mean, I don't see why he would turn that down anyways. So like you said, I would be completely shocked if he does retire this offseason. But it will be very interesting to see what they do with Jordan Love in the 5th-year option. I assume they probably won't pick it up and see what Rodgers does after next year, which is most likely going to be the scenario. So, yeah, we're just going to have to wait until Jordan Love gets to be full-time starter in a few years.
Yeah, the 5th-year option for Jordan Love is going to be $20 million. That's a lot of money to be paying up for a potentially backup quarterback. that you don't know. That's a big bet. That's a big gamble there. Um, so, and like I said, this is all the more reason to throw Jordan Love out there for these last games. Um, and I just wonder. This is such fantasy, but I just wonder what happens if Jordan Love starts these last 5 games and looks like good, like not even great, not even Jesus Christ at the Red Rocks. All right, like he just looks good. Like, what do they do then? Are they so bought into Aaron Rodgers? Do they realize, all right, already 4 years are going to be gone on this kid? Do we just trade him now because his trade value is going to skyrocket? But Jordan Love could make the conversation more interesting, and I hope he does. We need some content for this offseason, please, Jordan.
Oh, 100%.
Yes, but in this Eagles game, played pretty well. And you do have to consider the circumstances. The Eagles had pretty much already won that game. We're pretty much in Mike Pettin prevent defense at that point. But played in rhythm. I was really hoping he would have made that pass to the second pass to Watson when he's on the run. He's driving back like me and Madden. Oh man, that would have been Mahomes-esque, Russell Wilson-esque, vintage Aaron Rodgers-esque sending the play. Oh, I would have loved it, but we missed out. And also missed out on Randall Cobb's drop touchdown, missed out on a Aaron Jones drop catch on the sideline, but it's all right. Jordan still got his time to shine.
Hey. But Randall Cobb didn't drop that. He got absolutely mugged in the end zone and DPI.
That is fair. I can't blame that on Cobby. All right. That is this Packers game next week. We got Chicago on board. I am, I feel like I do need to give a little bit of nip snaps, claps for Aaron Rodgers this season, because I feel like my Twitter feed reflects that I have totally turned against him. And I know he's a big fan of us, so I want to make sure the message is out there that I really respect what he played through this last game and all season, really. He played phenomenal in the Dallas game. He played great in this game besides the 2 interceptions. So salute to you, number 12. And hopefully we have better next season. Yes, I love you. Now that was me trying to do a Pat McAfee impression, which leads us to our final topic that we have to include in here, of a crazy, wild week for Big B. I'm going to play a few of the clips right now.
Rodgers has not exactly been himself. He's missing throws he usually makes. Just could not quite figure out what's wrong. Well, thanks in part to a Make-A-Wish person, a Make-A-Wish kid named Big B, a big Packers fan, big in the Packers blogosphere. He tweeted earlier in the week that Rodgers told him during his Make-A-Wish weekend that he's got a broken thumb. Rodgers confirmed that yesterday, explaining.
Story originally broke?
No.
It was this Packers podcaster named Big B, who was on his Make-A-Wish weekend, asked Rodgers, and then tweeted it. Like, scooped all of us. It was amazing.
Shout out, Big B.
Big B. Love you, Big B. Oh.
Great. I mean, I was kind of annoyed, but good for him.
Whoa. Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, I want
Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, Make-A-Wish.
down,
You
yeah.
asshole.
I was annoyed.
Yeah, it's one
God.
scoop, prick.
A make-a.
Good job, Big B. Anyway.
So Big B, I mean, like these are just kind of stacking on top of each other. So how was your reaction to your breaking news kind of blowing up over this past week?
Yeah, just every Ian Rappaport quote tweeting and then mentioning me on NFL Network was absolutely ridiculous. That is pretty much a dream come true, to be mentioned on NFL Network for thousands of people to hear my name and such.
Yeah.
And then I got into an article on NFL.com, which is also absolutely insane, which was also a link to this very here podcast, which is also
Thank you, Ian.
Yes, thank you, Ian. You're a god. So that was what was it, like almost last week?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was. And now today, Pat McAfee had Ian Rappaport on, and Ian brought me up during it and got a shout out from Pat McAfee. So that was amazing. And Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna get mentioned again. So
Man,
Yes, sir.
that's a good one. Yeah. Hopefully I'm planning to get this video out tomorrow morning. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking out for that. It was so funny. I was at lunch and in my school cafeteria there was like no service. So for like the whole lunch period, I'm trying to refresh my Twitter feed and I'm getting nothing. But the only tweet that was loading for me was your tweet that says, "Wait, what the hell is happening?" So I was like, "What? What is happening?" so, so yeah, I
leaving
mean,
you on a cliffhanger there.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hearing Big B and the classic like Pat McAfee deep voice, the toxic table, it's phenomenal. I love Boston Connor saying the last part of the clip is gold, and Boston Connor saying, "Yeah, it was one scoop, you prick." Uh, Absolute gold. Shout out to the guys at Pat McAfee show. We got to start a campaign to get Big B on there for sure.
Yes.
But other than that, that's all we got for you here at the Underage Packers podcast. We'll be back later in the week here to give you a preview, I guess, of the Chicago Bears game. We'll know about the quarterback situation then and all the other circumstances. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow us on all the social medias. We'll talk to you later. As always, go Pack.